Hello lads, ladies, gents, ladetts, whoever, whatever, welcome back to another video. Back in the prime years of the PS3 and Xbox 360, we saw a bit of an arms race for the greatest possible indie title, mostly driven by the Xbox Arcade. From legendary titles like Fez, Ducktail Fish, Super Meat Boy, and the topic of today's video, Spelunky. Originally releasing back in 2008 as freeware, creator Derek Yu remade his original classic for the 360 in 2012. This 2D action roguelike platformer was a massive success for the indie developer, selling well over 1 million copies across more than just the Xbox 360, while also selling on the PS3, PS4, PS Vita, Switch, and Steam, basically being the perfect arcadey treasure hunting game. Spelunky definitely wore its inspirations on its sleeves from games like Spelunky, Pitfall, and even the old Indiana Jones movies. You'll notice straight away that Spelunky is a very bright and colourful game, which is surprising considering it's a game about exploring caves and going deeper into the earth. Now, this isn't to say that the game doesn't get dark, as if you're in areas that aren't well lit, you're not going to be able to see anything, and prepare to cry. The game's soundtrack is also wonderful. It has a lovely energy and everything is very suitable for what's going on. Being an arcadey game by nature, Spelunky doesn't really have that much going when it comes to the overall plot. Essentially seeing you play as an explorer, shown as a cute little character, more on this shortly, as you attempt to explore seemingly never-ending cave systems. Each level will have several different things for you to collect, fight, and find on your quest to get as much treasure as possible. With every level being randomly generated, it really drives home the idea of exploring. Having to go all over the map to find an exit, you'll more often than not find yourself a fair share of gold and jewels. These aren't the only things you can find though, as you can find these forbidden idols that if you do attempt to steal, expect to die because they trigger traps. Along with this, you can also attempt to rescue damsels in distress, as if you do manage to save them, they will give you a kiss at the end of the level as a reward, giving you more health for the next level. And you will need this, because fuck me, this game is hard. I died less in all of my time in the Dark Souls trilogy, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring than I did in a few hours with Spelunky. You would think that this is frustrating, but no. Due to the extreme speed of the gameplay, each death, although disappointing, doesn't really leave a bad taste in my mouth, and it's typically my own fault because I'm not very patient. If you play a lot more methodical, a lot of that difficulty, at least early on, will disappear. However, by the time you start going further into the depths of some of these caves, it becomes more of a struggle, since this game has more than its fair share of one-hit kills. There's just so many things that can kill you instantly, or you get hit multiple times without being able to react, meaning you just die, causing you to have to start again. Now, as mentioned, it doesn't leave that foul a taste in your mouth because realistically, you're going to get back there pretty damn quick. And although yes, it's frustrating that you die, you don't feel like you've lost progress, at least in most cases. The game does have a nice shortcut system, however to unlock the shortcuts to further levels, it takes way too long, having to do these several times in order to get there. Now, it does mean the game wants you to get good, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it definitely slowed down my progress, which is why I did only get to level 3 a few times. Yes, I am bad at this game, and I do apologize. I'll use my gameplay from this to apply to be a games journalist. What makes Spelunky a truly special game though is the fact that even though yes, it is an arcadey style game, it really lets you play how you want to play. As you explore these levels, you'll come across shops that allow you to buy different types of items, with them affecting the game differently. This allows you to create your own play style, your own build essentially. There are definitely items that are more useful than others, however at the end of the day you don't need to use these, you can play how you see fit. And that makes this game one hell of a joy to play. Each run is different, it's unique, it makes me come back and feel like I'm playing a new game every time. It doesn't really get old. Sure, if I was actually good at the game and could beat it consistently, then yeah, probably would get a little boring. However, for me, for now, this game is addictive as all hell, and that's thanks to Spelunky having basically perfect controls. It's super responsive, everything's super tight and coherent, and it's just a joy to play. With this said, I do dislike how we pick items up because it's a 2-button combination. I think they could have got away with making this just a single input, however, it doesn't ruin the experience. It just takes a little bit of getting used to when it comes to the overall timing of it, because I definitely killed my fair share of damsels by accidentally whipping them to death instead of picking them up to to save them. But that's also a skill issue on my part. Another reason I keep coming back is to find different characters. They're scattered throughout randomly, and it actually makes that exploration that I've talked about earlier even more enjoyable. It makes Spelunky just one of the most tight and coherent experiences as a game, just functionally, that I've ever played. It's so good that there's only one thing I'd love to see added to it, and I would consider it basically a perfect game. I would have loved for the treasure system to actually play more of a role in the overall experience. You do use it to buy items throughout the levels, assuming you were lucky enough to run into a store that might carry what you want. I would have loved for them to do what Ducktales Remastered did and allow you to accumulate your treasure in order to buy special bonuses. Let me get concept art, let me get behind the scenes. It just would have been nice to have just a little bit extra. Now, it's not a game that's lacking in content by any means. There is plenty for you to do. However, I just would have liked a little bit more, mainly because I just really enjoy my time with Spelunky. It's become a game that I like to boot up for maybe 20-30 minutes, play a little bit, and then go do something else. It's not a game that I'm going to sit there and marathon for hours on end, but it is a game that I'm going to have installed at all times. It is a game that I'm going to recommend to all my friends whenever they can't think of something to play, even if it is just for me to torment them while they die so I can get a good laugh. Spelunky still to this day is one of the greatest indie games ever made. And yes, more modern indie games are definitely much bigger in scope. They have more technology behind them, but there is something that is absolutely beautiful about the simplicity of what Spelunky is. It's a game that understands exactly what it is and what it's trying to achieve, and it wears it as a badge of honor. It is a wonderful game that I highly recommend playing. It goes on sale fairly regularly, so there's no excuse. I'm just saying this because I want you to feel my pain, because fuck me, I died a lot. So with that, lads, ladies, gents, ladettes, whoever, whatever, it brings us to the end of another video. I hope you enjoyed this look back at Spelunky. I did this video to give the game a little bit of love, because without it, and its contemporaries at the time, I don't think we have the wave of indie games that we get these days. Indies are definitely dominating the scene, and without them, I think the gaming industry would be in big trouble. So support indie developers if you get a chance. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like button. If you want to go that extra step, you can hit the subscribe button. If you want to go that extra mile, you can support me on Ko-fi from just $1 a month like these lovely people here. With that said, I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.